Indigenous people and African people suffering. They are front line. We are dying with this climate change. This is genocide. And this is global issues. We must have a global solution.
For the women here, fighting the oil companies isn't just about climate change. It's about maintaining a way of life, living in concert with the jungle in a way that has served their community for generations.
Today is Gender Day here at the UN Climate Summit, a day that acknowledges the disproportionate impact of climate change on women who make up 70% of the world's poor.
We really only have a few years to roll it back. Otherwise, devastation will occur far greater than any of us can imagine, because as we know, all of the models that have been projected for what's going to happen, they're already obsolete. Things are cascading much more rapidly than anybody ever guessed.
These voices are critical to the process at the UN climate negotiations and for all government leaders to hear and decision makers. We need to hear these stories.
My vision for the future of this treaty is women of every color, religion, every single kind of woman beyond political parties will rise up together with the love, that powerful love that we have for life and for our children.
I'm thinking about this love. I'm thinking about it.
Monday's event was hosted by WECAN, Women's Earth and Climate Action Network. The speakers were introduced by WECAN Executive Director Osprey Riley.
Where is Mother Earth in this agenda that's being discussed here? The Women's Earth and Climate Action Network is a global network organizing women around issues of climate justice for mobilizations, advocacy trainings, and on-the-ground solution projects.
And all I really want to do is find a way to go on through.
They may not be coming after us with their bayonets and their rifles, but they're coming at us with nuclear waste. They're coming at us with fracking. They're coming at us with pipelines that are carrying that filth from the tar sands where they're killing my relatives up there. And they're bringing it to you.
For a host of reasons, including the denial of basic rights, women are impacted first and worst by climate change, but it's also essential to understand that they are indispensable to solutions. When we look at research involving 130 countries, it demonstrates that countries with larger numbers of female parliamentary representation are more likely to ratify international environmental treaties.
The Amazon, in Ecuador at least, is being concessioned to oil and mining companies. And our government is doing this. They come to these global conferences, these global climate summits, and they talk about one thing, but on the ground, it's another thing. Mother Earth has given us so much, but with this greed and ambition, this is what causes suffering. And it doesn't only cause suffering to us, Indigenous people. It causes suffering for all of us.
Tea Party people and Democrats and Republicans and Christians and Muslims, everybody, that everybody will join together, all the women. And then we will sing from our wombs as we stand joined together to ensure a safe future and make happen imaginings that we're doing right now.
To address the systemic problems, women are advocating for and implementing models of collective ownership of their seeds, their plants, their forests, and they are working to localize their economies. We are also here as voices of protest because our governments and corporations are failing to protect and defend the very web of life. And this must stop.
And that's why we're here to share our visions and our proposals so that humanity, so everyone could finally understand that these forests, that nature has to be protected. They have no borders.
Through our research, we have seen that there's a clear systemic link between the climate crisis, our economic model, and the ongoing exploitation and disempowerment of women.
Where I live in Oklahoma right now, ConocoPhillips, Continental Carbon Black, landfills are poisoning the air, water, and earth where we are, to the point that since 2005, we have averaged one funeral a week in a community of 800.
Reconnecting with Mother Earth is a solution. This is part of what we need to do and is being offered to us by Indigenous people who have kept that spiritual connection with the land.
We are the United Nations sitting in front of you. We earned that right.
We are all planet, same boat, climate change.